What is up, Too Tall Sports podcast family? Glad to have you in today for my 2 cent segment before I get to my interview with Jeremy Barfield. Got a lot of reaction from the weekend, especially week 3 NFL. Lots of stuff happening there. I'll give you a little bit of Justin Tucker beating the Lions. We're going to talk about some 1-2 teams and some 3-0 teams right now in the NFL that are contenders, pretenders type of thing. Something big happened for the Orioles this weekend. One player did something for the first time in franchise history, which I can't believe that actually happened. 30 homers and 30 stolen bases by Cedric Mullins. I'll get to that in a minute too. Tom Brady going back to New England, give you a little bit of preview there. And then the Ryder Cup, just kind of recapping how big that was for the U.S. So I'll do a little Ryder Cup at the end as well. But let's start with the NFL week 3. I think the biggest thing that jumped out to me was definitely the Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. The Rams are now 3-0. That was a huge win for Sean McVay, who, they've beaten the Bucs before with Brady, I believe, last year. But they did lose to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, of course, with Belichick and the Patriots then. This was a statement win for the Rams, I think, because there is such a difference between Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. You could just see the excitement with Sean McVay when he's sprinting down the sidelines after touchdowns, especially after the long bomb that Deshaun Jackson got from Stafford for a touchdown. He went into the tunnel, and McVay is running just as fast as him to chase him into the tunnel to tell him how happy he was, congratulate him, all that stuff. You can just tell when Sean McVay talks, it is a different Rams team now with Matthew Stafford. Stafford went 4 touchdowns, 343 yards. He was spectacular. It is a different vibe. I heard Andrew Whitworth, one of the offensive linemen, say SoFi was one of the loudest environments he's ever played in. It's the stadium's new, the team is new. Aaron Donald said they haven't gelled like this since they went to the Super Bowl. So it's just, you can feel it, right? You can feel it when you go there. I am going to the game this weekend, so I'm kind of excited about that. To see the Rams and Cardinals play, which should be a fun matchup. 2 3-0 teams, by the way. But just watching the Rams this weekend, oops, I hit my mic there. Wow, it's such a difference. Brady played great. He had over 400 yards passing, only 1 touchdown throwing. He did do his classic QB sneak that he's really good at, so he ran one in as well. But man, this Rams team could definitely go to the Super Bowl. They have Aaron Donald. They got Jalen Ramsey. They got all the pieces offensively and defensively. The running game we'll see with Sony Michel being kind of a backup fill-in for Dale Henderson. Hopefully he comes back soon. This is a very impressive win for the Rams, especially at home in LA. Brady's first time playing in LA. That was a big win for them. On the more negative side of things, if you're a Lions fan, you just kind of expect these things to happen, right? Just stuff doesn't go right for you in Detroit. So Lamar Jackson completes a 4th and 19, almost a 4th and 20 conversion at the end of this game to set up Justin Tucker, the best kicker of all time, most likely. You could argue Adam Vinatieri, but Justin Tucker, I believe, is the most accurate kicker of all time. Lamar Jackson sets up a 66-yard field goal attempt for Justin Tucker, which is the longest field goal in history. And I'm sure all of you saw it. Classic Lions right now. Tucker kicks it, hits the crossbar, and flips over to make the field goal. It's good. The Ravens win. I feel bad for Lions fans. I'm sorry, Lions fan. One of my buddies is a huge Lions fan. It is a depressing. I mean, it's been depressing for the Browns. The Vikings have had their struggles, but I feel bad for Detroit. It just never goes their way. The players that go there, look how happy Matt Stafford is to be away from Detroit. I mean, you got Barry Sanders retiring early. You got Calvin Johnson retiring early, just putting their bodies through hell for what? To lose or not make the playoffs every year? That organization just needs a complete overhaul. I know they just started with Dan Campbell, the new coach, and that, 6-year deal, whatever. It's going to take, the rebuild is going to take a while, and Goff is clearly a step down from Matt Stafford. There's no question there. But I do feel for the Lions fan to have an NFL record kick, not only get made, but the way it was made to go hit the crossbar and in. Oh, man, another heartbreak for Lions fans. But I think they should temper their expectations. Clearly, it's going to be a rebuild. I mean, they've been rebuilding forever, really. But Who's counting anyway? Just a tough break for Lions fans. So I feel for them there. And I won't spend too much time on that, but huge kick by Justin Tucker. That was pretty cool. How about some teams that are kind of underperforming that are the big powerhouse names that we're used to? You got Kansas City at 1-2. The Steelers look terrible. They're 1-2. And you got the Seahawks that are 1-2. Kind of strange right now. You got three marquee quarterbacks, especially two is still in their prime. You got Mahomes, who's arguably the best quarterback in the league. You got Russell Wilson, one of the top quarterbacks in the league, both struggling out of the gate with 1-2, both playing in tough divisions now. You look at the Raiders, you look at the Chargers playing really good football, and Kansas City's in last place right now. Can you believe that? Denver is 3-0. We'll get to them in a second. But, man, Kansas City's like, you can't just, I get, not that they're doing this, and I believe Andy Reid's a great coach, and Mahomes is unbelievable. But as they say, you can't just roll the balls out there and see what happens with all the talent. Everybody else is improved. Every other team in the division is improved, and Kansas City can no longer, it's not a cakewalk anymore for Kansas City. So hopefully they get right. I believe they will. And Andy Reid usually figures these things out. So I think Kansas City's going to be fine. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, good luck. Their running back led the team in targets. Najee Harris, out of the passing game, he had 19 targets, I believe, which is insane. Ben Roethlisberger had to throw it 58 times, and he's banged up. They can't figure out the running game. Only 45 yards total rushing as a team. The Steelers look terrible. I don't know where they go from here. They don't have a succession plan. I believe Ryan Clark said that on ESPN the other night. Former Steelers said there's no succession plan for Ben Roethlisberger. Mason Rudolph is not the answer moving forward. They haven't addressed the quarterback position to a real extent. They've kind of banked on Big Ben forever. It's not going well for the Steelers. And Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, which is very impressive, but they don't look good right now. We'll see what happens with the Steelers. I'm not a believer. That division's going to be tough. Ravens are still good. You got the Bengals that are getting better. The Browns are still good. It's going to be a long year for the Steelers, I think. Seahawks, they're in the toughest division in football. You got the NFC West. You got the 49ers. You got the Cardinals and the Rams, of course. Cardinals and Rams are doing great. 49ers, I don't know what's going on with them. They're banged up as usual, so we'll see with them. But the Seahawks, man, they had some turmoil in the offseason with Russell Wilson. Not as bad as the Packers did, but with Russell Wilson kind of threatening to leave, whatever, did they address the concerns that they needed to? I'm not sure. They just don't, every team only has a window for so long. Maybe this is when Seattle takes a step back and the other teams in the NFC West take a step forward. Let's talk about some of those 3-0 teams. So you got Denver, Arizona, Las Vegas Raiders, Carolina, big surprise at 3-0, and the Rams are 3-0. We already talked about the Rams. Denver, they're 3-0, but let's temper our expectations here. Teddy Bridgewater's been playing great, and the defense has been playing great. However, every team they played combined, they're all 0-9. So they haven't really faced any stiff competition. But hey, 3-0 is 3-0. Got to give it to Denver. We'll see how they do moving forward in that division. Like I said, they're going to play the Chargers twice. They got to play the Raiders twice. And they got to play Kansas City twice. So we'll see if the Raiders are for real. The Broncos are for real down the road. Big matchup this weekend, like I mentioned. I will be at the game. The Arizona Cardinals at the Rams in Los Angeles. Both teams 3-0 coming in. Love what I'm seeing from the Rams. Arizona's got some impressive wins too. I do like, they're figuring it out on both sides. The defense is looking great. Offense, the production is there. Kyler Murray coming into his own a few years in now. So I really like what I'm seeing there. Raiders are playing great. I've talked about them a lot on the podcast. Carolina at 3-0. I think we mentioned it last week. If this is not an indictment on the New York Jets, I don't know what is, but it's pretty bad right now for the Jets looking the way they are. But Sam Darnold looks great. So I have to give it to Sam Darnold and the 3-0 Carolina Panthers moving forward. They're going to have some tougher tests moving forward, but 3-0 for the Carolina Panthers, very impressive there. Quickly jump into Tom Brady going to New England. This is a big deal, right? He spent 20 years there, 7 Super Bowls. It is really he's got 7 Super Bowls on his own, 6 with New England. It's going to be an emotional night. I'm not sure how the Patriot fans are going to handle it. I got to think they're going to give a standing ovation for Brady. I'm sure he's going to be emotional. So much history there. They're clearly not the same without him. Mac Jones is not Tom Brady. And Belichick, now being older, has to, teach all over again and not have those high-level conversations anymore with an experienced quarterback like Brady. So he's dealing with Mac Jones. He's a rookie. They got to, temper their expectations there. And I do feel bad for Drew Brees, who held the passing yards record for one season. And now Brady, kind of cool, as fate would have it, Brady is going to probably pass Drew Brees, most passing yards all time, and he's going to do it at his old home in New England. It's going to be a special moment Sunday night, Tampa Bay at New England. I'm excited to watch that game. It's going to be cool to see Brady go back home and see how the fans handle that. I do think they're going to stomp all over the Patriots. I think that the Patriots are going to get up for that game, but coming off a loss for the Bucs at Los Angeles against the Rams, I think this is going to be a big game for Brady coming home. He's going to want to show them, hey, this is what you're missing when you let me go down to Tampa. So they didn't give him the requisite weapons over the last couple of years, so he deserved to go somewhere else. He gave them everything he had for 20 years. It's going to be really cool for Brady to play back in New England Sunday night. We'll all be watching. Last couple things I got for you. So Cedric Mullins, that was the guy I mentioned, had 30 homers and 30 stolen bases. First time in Orioles history that they've ever done this before. I made a video on this. I'm going to post on my Instagram. Not even Cal Ripken Jr. did it. Not even Manny Machado did it when he was there forever with the Orioles. Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, Frank Robinson, all these big names. Eddie Murray, not that he would have stolen a lot of bases, but no one had ever done 30 homers and 30 stolen bases, which is really cool for a guy that just a couple years ago got optioned down to Double-A, was hitting .094 basically in the big leagues. And he came back, 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, never been done in Baltimore Orioles history. Really cool to think about. It's hard to do, but hard to believe it's never been done before. So congrats to Cedric Mullins on that. Quickly move to the Ryder Cup. Big dominant win for the U.S. team. We needed this, right? As a country, we've lost 7 of the last 9 Ryder Cups. And we're talking about golf now. For those who don't know the Ryder Cup, it's the U.S. versus the world, especially more over in Europe. But the U.S., we should have won this going away. It was on our home turf at Whistling Straits, which is a nice-looking golf course in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a.k.a. Kohler, Wisconsin, arguably wherever it's at. All your toilets and faucets and bathtubs are from there. So just FYI for you on that. We're younger. We're more talented. 8 of the top 10 players in the world are American outside of John Rahm and Louis Oosthuizen. The rest of the field pretty much was stud young American players. And now it was important for us because even though we might be better overall, we had just gotten our asses kicked. There's no other way around it. We weren't gelling as a team. The chemistry wasn't there. Even Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau shared a nice little hug and embrace when they had the trophy presentation. So big moment for USA Golf. Like I said, 8 of the top 10 players in the world are American. We had lost the last 7 out of 9 Ryder Cups. That's a big moment for us. Not that it really means too much, but it's just nice to show like, hey, the up-and-coming golfers in the world are mostly American. Really cool to see that. And it was a big deal. And it's a fun event too. It's kind of like the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open. The fans are wild. They're all into it. It's prideful. It's country versus country, or like continent versus continent. So really cool to see that. And I'm glad the U.S. finally pulled out a Ryder Cup after struggling for many years. So that's what I got for you this week on the 2 cents segment. I will catch you next week for another great 2 cents segment, but enjoy my episode with the very funny Jeremy Barfield. Ladies and gentlemen, football is back, NFL and college, and all of your NBA and NHL and playoff baseball needs over the next few months. And the Too Tall Sports podcast is proudly brought to you by Vegas Sports Advantage. VegasSportsAdvantage.com. Use my promo code TOOTALL to get 25% off all of their texting packages. So what that means is they are going to text you right before a slate of games will start. Let's say for football Sunday, the games usually start, the first round starts at 10 a.m. They'll text you at about 9:50, 9:55. You got to be ready on your computer or on your app, wherever you bet your games, whichever sports book or sporting bets website you use your own. This is just a service that's going to text you their top picks based on the algorithm that they have set up. They wait till all the big sharp money comes in, and then they give you their best bet or two right before the games start at different times of the day. So they do text you the picks. You take care of them on your own and bet however much you want. They usually recommend 1 or 2 units of your normal, $50, $100, whatever you like to bet. Use your own judgment on that. However, VegasSportsAdvantage.com. Use my promo code TOOTALL. That's TOOTALL for 25% off all of the packages that they give you. They'll text you the picks. You get a certain number of picks, and then it'll run out, and you can use my promo code again if you want to. But 25% off. They're awesome. I use them. I make money off them all the time. I use my own sports book that I've chosen to put my bets on. But Vegas Sports Advantage is legit. They use their algorithms. Check them out. VegasSportsAdvantage.com. Promo code TOOTALL. I have a great and fun interview for you today with my buddy and former opponent in the minor leagues. His name is Jeremy Barfield. You may recognize the last name Barfield because his dad was Jesse Barfield, played in the big leagues, and his brother Josh Barfield also played in the big leagues. So we're talking to Jeremy today, and we've got tons of stories of the minors when our paths crossed and all the places we've played and people he's ran into, and just he's got some funny ass stories about the minor league. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this. We also talk about him, the Oakland A is trying to turn him into a pitcher. That was kind of funny. He went to junior college with Brandon Belt, the guy that plays for the San Francisco Giants. It's funny. And now he's a gamer. So he does streaming and live gaming on Twitch. His name is Flank Thomas, not Frank Thomas, but Flank Thomas. So kind of funny. Great episode with Jeremy. We just kind of have a lot of laughs. It's more of a laid back episode. So have fun with this one. And I think you guys will enjoy it. So anyways, you can always follow me at Too Tall Sports Podcast. That's on Instagram. I do a lot of content there, a lot of video stuff, a lot of fun videos, a lot of series. Like right now I'm doing, best and worst stadiums I've ever played in. I'm going to start a food series about where broke minor leaguers have to eat, at 11 o'clock at night, or breakfast places we like to go to. Hint, hint, Cracker Barrel. Anyways, so you can follow me at Too Tall Sports Podcast there. For the youngins, I'm on TikTok at Too Tall Sports Podcast. Don't knock it till you try it. I blew up on there. I've had some videos that have hit over 1 million views on there. Just saying, not flexing, just saying. I make waves on TikTok. So it's a fun place to grow and kind of give people perspective in videos and stuff. On Twitter, you can follow me at Too Tall Sports. On YouTube, please hit up my YouTube, Too Tall Sports Podcast. I need more subscribers there. I'd love it if you guys could share with a friend or family member just to see if they'd be interested in the content, or just have them subscribe. That'd be great. We put out videos there every week. Every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. we put out our episode. And then I just do my 2 cents segment also. If you just want to watch the 2 cents, I understand people consume content at different rates. So my 2 cent segment is going to be there as well. Just like the 5 to 10 minutes that I do before every interview on the podcast. So I post that as well. My producer, Ed, has a great new video and visual of the Too Tall Sports Podcast. So check that out. It's on YouTube now as well. You can also listen on the audio side on Apple Podcasts. You can follow along there, and please subscribe. Give us a like if you can. A review at the bottom. Always, like I usually mention, the 5 stars. If you get it to 5 stars, please hit those on Apple Podcasts. Boost those ratings. I really appreciate it. On Spotify, we're there as well. Just type in Too Tall Sports Podcast. That'd be awesome. And then we're on Pandora Music. We're on Amazon Music, Pandora, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts. Please go ahead and check it out there. Subscribe, rate, review, like, share, whatever you want to do. Comment. That'd be awesome. But just type in Too Tall Sports Podcast and you can probably find me. So thank you for listening, and enjoy my interview with Jeremy Barfield. Too Tall.
We had a pond. Going crazy.
All right, welcome back to the Too Tall Sports Podcast. My next guest is a former professional baseball player for 11 years, all in the minor leagues at every level. Both he and I both got to AAA, but hit pretty much every level along the way. He's got some great stories from his career, which we will get into in this episode. He's also a big-time gamer now on Twitch, and he streams his dominance weekly, and he goes by @Flank Thomas. Very creative name, not Frank, but Flank. And he was one of my favorite people to play against in the minor leagues. We never played together, but I'm happy to have him on. Jeremy Barfield. What's going on, Jeremy?
Man, it's so good to be on. Thanks for having me, bro. I missed you.
You got it. I know it's been a while. We were just talking off air about, we haven't talked to each other in probably 8 years now since we last played in AAA. So it's been a while.
Long time, dude. 8 years, especially 8 baseball years. That's an eternity, dude.
That is, I know.
That's like 3 different generations have already come and gone in baseball.
A lot of people getting released since we got released.
Oh my goodness. Dude, they don't even have, like, leagues have gotten released now.
Yeah, that's right. A bunch of teams we probably played for are gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them, I mean, for sure. Yeah. And just for reference, some of you may recognize his last name. So his dad, Jesse Barfield, was a big leaguer and coached as well. And his brother, Josh Barfield, played in the big leagues also. So just to ask you from a baseball family perspective, what was it like for you to grow up in a big-time baseball family?
I get asked that a lot. And for me, it was just normal. I didn't realize how abnormal that was until shooting even like 30 years down the road, dude. Like walking into, like, that's the thing, like walking into a clubhouse and like dapping up Griffey, A-Rod, Buhner, like that was normal for me as a 10-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's normal. I didn't know anything different. There wasn't anything like that. Was going to dad's office. That was the family business. That's what you work towards. So it's hard to like, I'm actually more wowed by people who have different, situations, like meeting somebody, like meeting a ball player, like getting his autograph and it meant something to them. I can't really relate to that. So I kind of get floored by that sometimes,
Yeah,
like, that's kind of where
sense.
I'm at.
Yeah, for sure. You don't know what you don't know, and you grew up in that environment, and I mean, definitely, I'm sure it was great for your career. And because you mentioned Griffey, I did hear you say this on another interview, so I wanted to ask you about it. He was my favorite player, also, man. He was like the guy, a pure talent, like an icon, could back it up on the field. Also had the swag. He was like, for me, the Kobe of baseball, right? He was that
Same
good.
Here.
What do you remember? Because your dad, I think you said, coached in Seattle in the late 90s and you got to be there a lot. What was it like being around Griffey and just being in the clubhouse, hanging out with him, playing video games with him, all that stuff?
Dude, he was such a kid, but he was already at that point like a veteran. Yeah. And he's still in his 20s, but he was the guy. I'll never forget in the Kingdom. He had like 3 lockers off to the corner, really close to the coach's office, right? All to himself, a big old recliner TV hanging down from the ceiling. And he had an N64 in there with his game, and all he would do is just play it. Probably
he played his own video game in
absolutely
there? Yeah.
But it was, dude, he had like boxes, so he would take a box full of the games and would just go toss them out to everybody who wanted some, and they wanted multiple copies. Here you go.
No way.
Dude, he was just, man, like the dude was he played hard, but man, he just had fun. He had fun. That's the biggest thing I took away from just being around him. He was always having fun. And he also came from a baseball family, so nothing was new to him. Like that wasn't a hurdle for him to get over the wow factor. Right. Like that variable is removed, being exposed to it from childhood. But like, dude, every single day just going around hanging out with him was a treat. It really was. And I'm grateful for that experience as a kid.
And you got to play against him when you on video games?
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. He was really good, obviously, and he would always play as the Mariners. And he was the only player with a real name, because remember, they didn't have the players. I don't think that came until later, because they didn't have the licensing, so they had fake names for all the players.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of how they got around that. But it was like it looked just like them. The stats were all the same.
Sure.
Crazy. Those guys probably
awesome.
Weren't too happy about not getting paid, but
no,
whatever.
I think they eventually did, because I remember playing with certain guys, like the Braves were really good in that game and the 64 version. Yeah, I think eventually they did. But anyway, that's awesome. And I guess you guys kind of had a similar baseball background, just like that, growing up in the clubhouse, all that stuff.
Absolutely, man. And just being around the clubhouse, that was probably one of the coolest things about just being a kid for me. Is that was the home away from home, like that's where you just soaked everything in. You just watched the guys just do what they did. Like I remember on the turn ahead the clock night, I was helping out with certain guys spray painting. Like Dan Wilson had to spray paint he spray painted his shin guard silver, metallic silver. And it was a big deal. And like, I just remember just soaking all that in, dude. Cause like, dude, that was cool for me.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Sure. No, I totally get you on that. I wanted to jump ahead as you became more of a prospect in baseball. When you were in high school, I saw you played in a Perfect Game Showcase. You were a pitcher also. Like you were, starting to get some notoriety in high school, and the Mets took you in the 9th round of the 2006 draft. Was there a thought for you to sign, or were you dead set on going to college?
Dude, I had no freaking say in any of that at all. That was all my dad and my brother just controlling everything. It was like, I'm not going to lie to you. It was brutal. Yeah. Okay. It was brutal. If it was up to me, dude, I wanted to sign. The Mets knew I wanted to sign, but I was 17. I couldn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And so, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. They offered me $155,000 as a first offer out of high school in the 9th round. And like, I remember my dad and my brother were like laughing at it. Like, you don't take that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, nah, dude, I wanted to go play because they were like, hey, they straight up, I'll never forget. I talked to Omar Minaya, was the GM at the time. And he was talking to me, dude, it was super illegal. There's no way he should be able to call a 17-year-old kid on my cell phone. Like, are you kidding me, by the way? Like, what? Let's get real. There's no way that's legal, right?
Yeah.
But he calls me trying to convince me to sign him. And he's like, Delgado's getting older. We can see you playing first base and being our guy in the future. We got a window. We got Millage here. He's young. Remember Lasting's Millage?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, dude. And like, dude, they had like a window that they were studs too. Like they were a stacked team, but they were starting to get a little bit older and they were trying to sell me really hard. And I'm like, dude, I can't do anything. My signature meant nothing without my parents' signature.
Right.
So being in that situation, I'm not going to lie to you. It sucked, dude. It sucked. It really did.
For sure. No, I get that you didn't have really a say, but don't you think now looking back, like 150 is not that much for a high school kid? You know what I mean? Like it's not life changing because that can go quick with taxes and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but I went to JUCO for 2 years, got drafted a round higher exactly, and I signed for less.
Sure. Okay, yeah. Hindsight's 2020, but I don't know if I would recommend someone to sign for 150 at a high school now. You know
yeah,
I mean? Yeah.
But that was the first offer, and then it started going up and up.
Okay.
But they wanted more. And I was like, "Are you guys kidding me?" I was like, "I have an actual opportunity here to go ball out and maybe get to the big leagues at a young age."
Sure.
And you guys want to be greedy for money up front, and I get that. I understand that it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But dude, it's like it got to be the point where it's like, man, are we seriously going to pass this up right now? And we did.
And he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you did mention you went to junior college and went to, as you would call it, San Jack or San Jacinto. Did I hear right that you play with Brandon Belt on that
dude.
At San Jack?
Okay. So that was our freshman year, right? He comes in from he went to Hudson High School. It's in the suburbs of Lufkin, which is like a smaller town. It's in the suburbs of a place that's in the middle of nowhere.
That's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went to Hudson High School. It was like, I don't know, like 3A. It wasn't very big. They didn't have that great a competition. He absolutely dominated. We're talking like no hitters, perfect games, multiple.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was throwing in the mid 90s from the left side. And he ranked in high school, but he also didn't play anybody. And so he ended up asking for like $1 million, pricing it really high. He didn't know any better, dude.
Sure.
He didn't know any better. And he ends up getting drafted like in the 10th, 11th, I don't know, something like that. And goes to San Jack as a draft and follow. That's like the rule was still in place. So I was a draft and follow. We had 14 guys that were draft and follow. So he goes to San Jack, and I don't know what the heck happened, but dude, he gets to San Jack and he's like topping out at 87.
Oh, so he clearly either it was fake or it was just not. His arm was dead, or who knows?
Dude, he just wasn't throwing hard, and it wasn't that good. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, it was not good.
I was going to ask you why he didn't pitch in the big leagues with that kind of stuff, lefty.
Dude, it was, I don't know what happened. And so we couldn't really use him against, like, the coaches started to hide him, you know?
Yeah.
He kind of used them when scouts wouldn't be there to get a bigger matchup. So he could kind of like do well against a bad school.
Right.
But he wasn't throwing in like the marquee games and stuff. So it got to the point where he was just kind of there. And then I remember one day, it's like, dude, I want to say it's like halfway through the season, maybe a third of the way through the season. And he goes, hey, I'll do my Belt impression. He goes up to our assistant coach because our head coach wasn't there at this practice. He goes, hey, DJ, can I go take some swings? Like during BP, because he was hitting fungo. He was a PO, dude.
Pitcher only. PO. Yeah.
He's like, our coach just laughed. He goes, sure. Sure, dude. He laughs and lets him go in there. No batting gloves. His stance was super closed off at the time. First swing, I want to say like pops it straight up. Okay. After that, dude, homer, pull side, 3 in a row. And then we were like, oh, wow. And then our coach goes, hey, anybody can pull it. How about you go hit some the other way? Homer, dude. He was our DH the rest of the season.
Whoa.
Swear to God. After that, he became our DH the entire rest of the season. We ended up going to the World Series. He and I had to lick my arm because, when you taste yourself. But seriously, he and I both got like all tournament team. He ended up not signing. We both did not sign as a draft and follow. He ended up getting drafted like 10th, 12th round, something like that as a pitcher again. He ends up transferring to Texas after our freshman year out of JUCO. So he gave up like sophomore year, and then he goes to Texas as a first baseman. And yep, look at him.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
PO,
crazy.
bro. A JUCO PO. Throwing 80 poo. Yep.
Okay. Well, enough of Brandon Belt, but that's crazy though. What
crazy,
a story,
dude.
man.
Yeah,
wow. Dude. I didn't know that.
2006, 2007. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
And you mentioned earlier, so the Oakland A's come in and take you in the 8th round, and eventually a couple of years later, and you immediately get sent to one of the craziest places I've played, Vancouver, Canada. I'll tell you a quick story. So after we played you guys, you were probably there because I got drafted 08. I was there the same time as you. I was at the Mariners in Everett for the Aqua Sox.
Oh, yeah.
And we played you guys in Vancouver. It was the only time in my career I had ever gotten on a bus after a minor league game and had fans throwing shit at us while we were leaving. That was one of my first road trips ever. I'm like, is this how it always is in the minors?
Oh.
This is short season.
Oh my God. That's amazing, dude.
The fans in Vancouver were insane. So I just want to hear what it was like for you to play in Vancouver.
Dude, it was crazy that the first city I played in was by far the best. Even, dude, you go sit to freaking short season and it's better than the big leagues. It's better than Oakland.
Yeah.
Everywhere else is a downgrade. Shoot, going from Sacramento to Oakland's a downgrade.
Yeah.
Well, at the time. But anyways, dude, Vancouver was amazing. First off, thank goodness I was 19. That was a drinking age in British Columbia.
True.
So that's the only time I could drink was when we were at home. And this was kind of crazy. Is like, that's the only time that's the first time in my life that my, like, where I was anywhere, people were like gawking over like my dad and my last name and stuff. I'm like, geez, that was like, dude, 30 years ago in Toronto, halfway across, like a complete other side of the country. But dude, a ton of Jays fans, dude, they're like, oh my God, Barfield, your dad. Da, 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 da. Like, dude, I never had this happen ever again. Before our home opener, we were playing like, I want to say Tri-Cities. It was the Rockies. And CTV was there. Like
who?
CTV, the channel, Canadian television, like big network. Basically, I want to say it's like an ABC, something like that, like that big. Okay. Dude, they were there because I think we were the only minor league team in all of Canada at that point.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. And so it was a big deal. They had like the stools, like people sitting on chairs on the warning track with like the umbrellas with the lights. That kind of big deal, dude. 2 people with the mics and all that. So I'm sitting down in a chair live across all of Canada at like 19 doing a pregame interview. It was nuts, dude. Nuts. It was so cool. I was thinking like, wait a second, is it always going to be like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Little
right.
did I know. No. But
well,
man,
Vancouver sound. I mean, the fans were crazy, but they were there. They
there,
sold out
dude.
a lot. That was a fun atmosphere.
Apparently, it was the cheapest cider in all of Vancouver. That's why they always filled the place.
Interesting. But that was kind of a bad stadium, though, wasn't it? It was old, wasn't it? Or no?
Okay, think about it. Here's what I like to think of it. You played in the Cal League, right?
No, I actually never played.
Never
in the Cal
did.
League. No.
Oh no. Okay. Because it's like a nicer version of San Jose. It actually wasn't bad, and they put money into it.
Okay.
It was dude. It's kind of like think of Spokane.
Oh, okay. Spokane was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like now with a huge jumbotron video board now.
Oh wow. Okay. Nice.
So it's very usable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about another place you played the following year. You went to Kane County, which was, I believe, in Illinois, low A for the A's at the time. Your team was stacked, by the way, once you got there.
Yeah.
But you have a fun story about a July 4th game where it was a sellout, and Aramis Ramirez was rehabbing.
Yep.
And tell us what you got to eat after the game.
Okay. Yeah, dude. All right. So the largest crowd in franchise history, it was over like 16,000. July 4th game, Aramis Ramirez is rehabbing. Reed Johnson's also rehabbing. We're only like half hour outside of Chicago. We got a freaking billboard with a Cubs logo on the wall.
Yeah.
So it was packed house, and they had just done renovations to our stadium to like put in suites and a whole second deck. So man, it was crazy. All the berms, you couldn't even see green. You couldn't even see the grass on the berms. All the decks are completely full. It was insane. Dope game. We end up winning. Have a good game. All that. Man, we get back into the clubhouse. It was PB&Js and some of the leftover like hamburgers and like the really wrinkly, crispy hot dogs.
For a sellout game.
Sellout, bro.
That's all they could give you.
Yeah, that's it. And that was more than they usually did.
Yeah. I know we could definitely talk about how the brutal minor leagues. I would ask you about a couple other places, but it is pretty crazy that you got some of the best players in the country, in the world that are playing, and they don't take care of them at all.
No, the minor leagues are a scam, dude.
Yeah.
100% minor leagues are a scam. They're a complete scam. And I say that because there's only a few people making money and everybody else is getting screwed. In my mind, that's a scam.
No, it's 100% true.
Outside you have to look
bonuses.
Yeah. You have to look really hard though. Like we're talking the day-to-day signing bonuses. Yeah. I mean, thank goodness
very
for those
few guys get
if
those,
they come into play. Yeah. Exactly. But dude, you have to look long and hard to find somebody in minor league baseball, whether that be a player or administration, doesn't matter. You have to look long and hard to find somebody that's actually making any kind of livable money.
Right.
Everybody else is struggling.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's definitely something they got to figure out. I did want to bring up the first time, or maybe I guess now you and I played against each other a lot of random years. We kind of had the same trajectory.
Yeah.
But the first time I remember playing against you was when I was in one of your and I favorite cities, Clinton, Iowa, when I was playing for Clinton, and you were probably for Kane County at the time.
Yeah.
What do you remember about the first time I don't know if you remember facing me or just being in Clinton in general.
Okay. I remember the smell from whatever factory. It smelled like dog food there.
It's dog food in like a corn byproduct factory or something like that.
It smells awful.
The worst.
I remember dirt basically being dirt on the clubhouse floor.
Yeah.
At least the home side was nice.
Home side was nice. Yeah.
All-Star game was dope.
That's right. We were both there. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I don't remember much, but that was dope. But like, I just remember Clinton just being one of the dreariest. I mean, it's Iowa. God forbid you have to go to Iowa. But it was just being one of the you see it on the calendar, just like, and you guys weren't bad either.
Yeah, we had some talent.
Yeah, you guys weren't bad. It was always like just a grindy game. They usually were like at least 3 hours long. And it's just no one wanted to be there.
I remember the first time we probably talked at the All-Star game. You used to say when I would pitch against you, you'd be like, the ball is coming out of the sky. I can't see it in the first.
Yes, dude. And you guys had that like riverboat behind.
Yes.
You had that like white riverboat way back there. Only comes into play with big dudes. I wonder who the heck else was it? Kasparic, was he there?
Kasparic was there. He was maybe taller than me.
And dude, fun fact, I ended up facing him like years later. He dropped down.
Oh,
I'm telling
really?
my buddies like a scouting report. I'm like, dude, it comes like way up there. He comes in like dropping sidearm. Like, oh my God, what?
Wow, just wasting his height, man. Yeah.
Can't make this stuff up. But yeah, I do remember that. Like it was really tough to hit because you guys had a taller pitching staff anyways, especially like, dude, they wanted to draft that. They had the pitchers that they would go after that, look at you.
Yeah.
And man, it's just so tough to pick up there. The lights weren't really that good anyways. You got used to it, but man, like at the end of the day, the stats still counted. And dude, it's not like you would be throwing fuzz up there, but Didn't matter. It would just get on. I just remember it getting on me so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just like, oh, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I did, to be honest. I have no idea. No idea.
I just remember you guys had a lot of talent. And I actually remember one guy that you've talked about before, the lost story of Grant Desmay. What Desmay. The hell, dude? That guy.
Desmay.
Guy that was our age that went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. He was an absolute stud and basically gave it all up to go become a priest and all that stuff.
Frater Matthew.
What is it?
Frater Matthew.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay.
What do you remember about him?
Oh, he was awesome dude, man. Awesome dude. So here, we were locker mates too. And so he started that season 0 for 27 with 24 strikeouts.
Oh, God.
He ended that season between two levels, hitting over 280, over 30. He went 30-30.
Wow.
And he went like 35 for 35 on stolen bases. Like he didn't even get thrown out. Something stupid like that.
Yeah, he
went 30. And then he went to the fall league, hit 10 home runs in the first 12 games, was like the MVP of that, all that, and then gave it up. Like, dude, he was unbelievable, dude. I spent so much time with him. When he would get frustrated, he would take his helmet off and go like that. like he would feel guilty for yelling. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Man, he was going to be in the big leagues in a short time, but he
was.
Gave it up,
I think the next year he probably had a shot.
Yeah.
And we ended up seeing him. So he gave it up that offseason, right? After fall league, before spring training. We ended up seeing him the next year in the Cal League. He's from Bakersfield, god awful place. At least the 3/4 of the town that's close to the ballpark. There is a nice side, but it ain't nowhere near where but he ended up coming to one of our games, one of 12 people in attendance. Dude, he had already lost like 30 pounds, had glasses on, didn't even really recognize him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like
just changed his whole thing.
I mean, he had no reason to be in that kind of shape and stuff. But yeah, crazy. I don't know what I know. He became Frater Matthew. I ended up reading up about him. I never ended up. I think it was the last time I talked to him was 2010.
Okay. So yeah, that was a long time ago. Damn.
I think he coaches at a school.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think he's a coach at a Catholic school.
Right. So he can do both, preaching and coaching, I guess.
Isn't that cool though?
Yeah, it is. What a random story. Some of my listeners who are young enough to be on TikTok have seen this series that I've been doing lately, the best and worst stadiums that I've ever played in. And I know you've played in probably all the ones that I've played in. So places like Dayton, Ohio, one of the best ever. And then Fort Wayne, Indiana is probably the best stadium I've ever played in. I didn't go to all the AAA places, but what are some of your favorite stadiums or worst stadiums also?
Okay. I got one city for both. Yeah. How about that? Nashville.
Oh, really? I never got to play in Nashville, so I don't know anything about it.
The old one, Greer Stadium, was so bad that the old clubhouse used to be just attached like underneath the stands. And they like boarded it off, but there's no but they boarded it off, but the bathroom is like basically a bucket that you go take a leak in an old shower, or you have to run across the field to right field. And it was like a little building they built out behind right field. Or you could do that to go to the bathroom. Like it was awful, dude. It was absolutely awful. It was one of the worst. Like we got locked in the clubhouse for like 20 minutes because they did a fireworks show after the game and they launch it from literally right outside the clubhouses. So they have like cops and fire marshals and stuff. Like literally we had to stay in the clubhouse until it was done. We couldn't even sneak out and go to Nashville. Like that's one of the big ball player moves. While the fireworks are going, just dude, get the heck out.
Right.
You can beat the traffic. People stay for that. We don't stay for that.
Yeah, who cares? Every night.
Times. Yeah. And like, dude, I'll never forget that. And it was one of the craziest things. And the only thing that made up for it was that you were in Nashville.
Right.
And then
now they have apparently a great stadium now.
Yeah. 2015, I got to play in it the year it opened. I was with the Rockies at the time, and it was actually the A's. So it was my first time playing against my old team. And it was, dude, I wanted to shove it up their ass so bad, dude. I hated them.
Oh, for sure.
My God, for sure, dude. And it was a bunch of old teammates, bunch of coaches, all that, dude. All that. Dude, I didn't even really say what's up to a bunch of them either. Like BP, dude. Like, fuck them, honestly. Like, seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll never forget this. And I will never forget this, dude. I had just won a championship in Midland the year before with Muncie. And I'll never forget. I see him like after in the tunnel at the new ballpark after a game. And I was like, hey, what's up, Muntz? And he looks and he goes like that to me and keeps walking. Dude, I'll never forget that. Fuck that guy.
Max Muncy.
Yeah.
Funky
I mean,
Muncy.
good for him having the success he's had.
Sure.
But he straight up big league me in AAA. And I was like, all right, dude. All right, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like that. Never forget that. But the stadium, unbelievable. Goes from one of the worst to one of the best. They have a club. It's legit like a club behind right field and a bar that I don't know why they built it this way. You have stools that look away from the field at the one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Sitting at the bar. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But like I legit can't hear. I was right field, right? You know that they built that stadium without baseball in mind when they have a brand new ballpark with bullpens down the line.
Yes, hate that.
That's because the players are an afterthought and a bunch of that stuff.
For sure.
But I'll never forget being down the right field line and just hearing nothing, being in right field and just hearing nothing but because there is blaring music at this bar. It like on the right there over me, and it's just like, okay, this is Nashville. It was dope, dude. Like between every hitting, dude, I'm throwing them the ball, like, dude, just rile them up. It was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
What about playing? I know you commented on one of them about Beloit, Wisconsin, the old stadium, and then Burlington Bees also had a terrible stadium too.
Oh man, those are so bad. Okay,
Yeah.
Beloit was by far worse than
The worst.
I think Beloit was the worst in the league. Personally, I think Beloit was worse than Clinton. At least Clinton, the field was very playable, and for you guys, the home side was nice. So
yeah,
but Beloit, awful. Walking through the stands, having the people knew that, the autograph hounds. And you know what? Let's be honest, dude. If you're a minor league autograph hound, it's like hills have eyes kind of people. Like, dude, why can't you just be normal? Why can't just a normal person just come running up? Why does it got to be some weirdo? Just like, you know what I mean? Like probably on some registry somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, at least give me like a Bartman or something. But no, it's always some freaking weirdos. You're in Beloit, Wisconsin. And for us, it was a commute. Was it a commute for you guys?
Yeah.
Makes it even worse. So then it's not like you're like, it's a long trip, dude.
Especially when they're asking you to sign binders, pages.
Binders full,
like, why do
dude.
you need 18 of me? Like,
I didn't even get
one.
paid for this card. Why are you going to make money off of it?
Right.
It's like, I'll never understand that is how a signature ends up on a card and I never got paid for it. How does that happen? How does Bowman have a card with my signature that I never got paid for?
Yeah.
Very strange.
I don't get that.
Yeah. And here I am because it's not a real signature, but they lifted it from something and printed it on the card. People are asking in Beloit, Wisconsin for binders of freaking cards, usually a lot of team sets too. So everybody has them. If you're in the second half of the season, you're in trouble because the team sets are out. Everybody's got a card. Doesn't matter if you're a prospect or not. And you're just, oh, that was the worst. Then you got to go to the dugout, which was a pit, dude. You had to step so far down.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Great place to hit, though.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like a high school field. Yeah.
I did not mind it. That was a place that, okay. I'm going to tell you about Beloit, Wisconsin. My teammate, he was a guy that got drafted one round ahead of me, Brett Hunter. He signed for like 1.1 mil in the 7th round.
Whoa.
At a Pepperdine.
Damn.
Yeah, like he had to have roided because he threw like 100 in college and he gets there and he was like 94 and he had no idea where it was going. Like zit holes all in his back and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I know what I saw. And at Beloit, Wisconsin, he had, dude, it might even be worth checking out the game log. It was the worst start I've ever seen in my entire life. Pro or amateur or video game.
Come on.
dude, I can't make this up. I will actually find that start.
Yeah, send it
I
to
will
me.
find it.
Yeah.
Dude, he didn't get out of the first inning. Gave up dude, it was something stupid. Gave up 8 runs, left the bases loaded. First pitch, a guy hits a grand slam. So he gets 3 of those Ernie's.
That's awful.
I don't even know if he recorded a single out, bro.
Wow.
And I'll never forget this because it was by far my best game of the season at that point. I went 4 for 4 with a bomb and a double. And couldn't even be happy because we got destroyed. All because this bonus baby couldn't throw a strike. And that was literally his last start. He ended up playing for years after that and never made another start.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
I want to get to another city that you've played in before that you actually liked a lot, I believe, was Sacramento. So what was it like playing in Sacramento? AAA.
Dude, Sac is a big league city. It was amazing. They take care. It depends on who's the clubby, but they took care of the players for the most part. Just being by the time you get to Sacramento, you're so glad to be out of Midland. That does not it doesn't even matter. Midland is just awful. And when you get to Sac, dude, downtown is just thriving.
They kind of have a cool downtown. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it's right there. It's so accessible. You just cross over the bridge and you're there. And this is before the arena was even downtown.
Right.
I mean, dude, the food, amazing. It was one of the best cities that you could ever play in. Big leagues or not. Seriously, it's that vibrant.
For sure.
And dude, always a packed house too.
Yeah, they drew well usually. They had good fans there.
Real good fans.
We could talk about a lot of stadiums. We might need to do a part 2 down the road about that. But I want to get back to your career a little bit. So I remember when the A's tried to have you pitch. Oof. What do you remember about that during your career when you put up some numbers, and I saw your career 260 hitter, man. It's not like you're a scrub. You can freaking hit. So what do you remember about when the A's tried to make you a pitcher?
Okay. I was the 3rd youngest guy on the roster and on the team in AAA. I was 24. And at the time, I was actually leading the organization in home runs, but I hadn't even been playing much over the last dude, I played for the first 3 weeks. I got to AAA, and then Michael Taylor got optioned. And then I just sat the bench. Dude, I was a 24-year-old first base coach in AAA. Dude, I had 12 homers in the first month of the season and wasn't even playing. And by that point, they didn't want to send me down. And so I just sat there, dude. So the guys that were older than me were Sonny Gray and Michael Choice. That's it. 2 first rounders. We actually had 5 first rounders on that team, by the way.
Yeah, you guys were stacked.
Yeah. 5 guys that the A's drafted in the first round on one team. That I don't think that's a good thing, actually. Not unless it's in the big leagues.
Right.
But so I remember it was actually on my birthday, dude. So I hadn't played in a week or 2. I didn't play. And I get called into the office after the game on my birthday. I just done first base coaching. So it was a quick shower. I was just going to get out and go downtown for my birthday. Dude, they call me in. It's my manager and the hitting coordinator, Todd Steverson. I hate that son of a bitch, dude. He was one of dude, if I honestly, I fight back the urge to punch him in the face every time I see him. And this is before that. Can't stand. I'll say that about a lot of people. Can't stand that dude. Absolutely cannot stand him.
Wow.
And of course, he's the one. He comes in and he's like, "Hey, I need you to take a seat." And I'm like, "All right." They're probably sending me back to AA. And he's like, "Hey, so of all people, Adam Rosales. Adam Rosales was the reason I got converted. Adam Rosales, dude. You can't give me somebody like a Reddick or I don't know. Give me somebody. Adam Rosales. Love Rosie. Good dude. But Adam Rosales, they go, Adam Rosales cleared waivers and we had to use a roster spot. And they basically didn't want to just put me on the Phantom. So they said hey, the organization's made the decision to convert you to a pitcher and we're going to be sending you out to Arizona. And I was like, no. I just straight up said, no, I'm not doing that. They're like, well, you don't really have a choice. I go, what do you mean? They go, well, if you don't report to Arizona in a week, they're going to put you on the restricted list. I was like, are you kidding me? was like, dude, I was like, release me. I said, dude, I was like, why don't they at least like try to trade me for like a washing machine? I don't know, something.
Yeah.
No. They're like, no, they're not, the organization isn't inclined to trade or release or grant you your release, is what he said. So I didn't have a choice. So they put me on they phantomed me and then sent me down to rookie ball on my birthday, no less. On my birthday. And then he goes, then this son of a bitch goes, oh yeah, how old are you? He's like, you're still young, right? How old are you? 24. I go, 25. He goes, oh, I thought you were 24. I go, no, today's my birthday. He goes, oh, well, happy birthday. Yeah. Unbelievable. So they send me out, put me on the Phantom, and I get sent down to Arizona, and it's July, bro, mid-July. So I get sent out there, and all I do is a throwing program and run. That's it. That's literally all I do for the entire remainder of the season. And then I've worked my way up to bullpens. That's it. Yep. And then they sent me, and then I go to instructional league. So mind you, I'm 25. I'm older than everybody.
Sure.
I go to instructional league. And then like actually did all right. Like, it's not like I was that bad of a pitcher. I just didn't want to freaking do it, dude. I'm a hitter,
man. Yeah.
It's not that hard. Like, I'm going to be honest, like pitching's not that hard if you can throw strikes and you have decent stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really that hard.
Yeah.
Where you separate yourself is like being great is, having even better stuff and throwing harder or whatever.
Yeah.
I was okay. But dude, they after instructs, the farm director comes up to me while I'm like, dude, I was freaking charting. I was just in AAA, freaking hitting bombs. And then like I'm charting at instructs pitching. And the farm director comes up to me and goes, hey, Jeremy, how would you like to go down to the DR and make some money? And I was like, oh, no, he goes, how would you like to go down to the DR? And in my mind, I'm sorry, he didn't say make some money. How would you like to go down to the DR after this? You didn't get that many innings. And I'm like, dude, they want to send me to winter ball? I'm down. I'll go make some money, dude. At least a minimum, you're going to make like $8,000 cash. So I'm like, dude, I'd do that. Doesn't matter how I do. And so I was like, and I straight up tell him like, yeah, I'll go play winter ball. And he goes, oh, no, we want to send you down to our complex.
Like the academy in the Dominican.
Yeah.
That's awful, dude.
So they send me down to the academy in La Victoria. And dude, we're talking rolling blackouts, sleeping on bunk beds. Dude, they paid me 400 Dominican pesos a week. You know what that is?
No. How much did it turn out to?
$7.07. Yeah. $7. That's what they paid awful. Me. So they convert me, send me down, do all that, and then don't pay me. Yeah, it was awful. And I was down there for 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah,
3 weeks. Dude, I had to go out there and do early work. They had me doing early work on the mound before breakfast. Like, what are we even doing, man? I'm 25 with 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. What are we even doing, bro? And all the brass was there, like all the American, like all of them, all the coordinators, and they stayed like an hour away at a resort, of course. And then here I was staying at that shithole.
That's brutal.
Tells you everything you need to know about the A's.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow. I was down there just working on my craft, dude, working on it, dude. And they ended up sending me to freaking A-ball. They sent me to the Cal League, the freaking Cal League. And I do well in the first half. They don't move me up. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to be a minor league free agent. You guys keeping me in single A kills my career. So I straight up told them, I'm not going to go back from the All-Star break. I'm not. I'm done. This is a waste. I don't care what you guys do. And they were like, no. How about this? How about we send you back to like, we come back out, just hang out in the bullpen until we get somebody to replace you. And then we'll send you back to Arizona, let you get your, you can start swinging it, getting ready, and we'll find a spot for you. So I wasted a year, bro. So I go in. Yeah. So I pitch one more time to start the second half in the Cal League in Bakersfield, no less, through 9 straight sliders. And then, to Bruce Maxwell. Actually, he was a catcher, and they end up sending me to Arizona for like 2 days. I didn't even hit BP one time, and then they send me back to AA, and I ended up finishing the rest of the season in AA playing the outfield.
And you had to go ask them, or basically threaten them with quitting.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely don't have your best interest at heart. That's for
At
sure.
all.
No.
And that would be okay if they didn't tell you that they straight up have your best interest at heart and like lie to your face about it. But hey,
well, you got to. I want to move forward to 2016. You got to stick it to everybody when you played in the Atlantic League for the Sugarland Skeeters. I played in Long Island, so I know Sugarland a little bit. It was a great place to play. And you were the Atlantic League MVP in 2016. You hit 306, 27 homers, 85 RBIs. Was that kind of like a "how do you like me now" moment to everybody that gave up on you?
I mean, yeah, I was just at that point, man, I was just happy to have everyday at bats because I hadn't had everyday at bats in like at that point, like 4 years. And it wasn't like I was old.
No.
Like, dude, I was like, at that point, I was probably like, what, 27, 26, something like that. And so I was just glad to have everyday at bats and then to do and capitalize on it. Cause like it got to the point, especially in that league, to where it's like, dude, I don't think it matters what I do. I don't think I'm getting picked up.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, there's no pressure. There's none. Dude, like if you're destroying the league like this and like my age, and I couldn't even get a sniff. Yeah. What else can you do? It was one of those things. Like, what else can you do? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. So it was just carefree baseball.
Do you think, because I think I've heard you also talk about your approach changed at the plate over the years. What do you think, especially that year, what do you think made you so locked in? Was it just that mentally freeing playing in that style of baseball?
Well, I got LASIK.
Oh, I got LASIK too. I know the feeling. It helps.
I got LASIK in after the 2015 season, and 2016 was my first year with LASIK. So
what you could have been, I guess. You should have got LASIK in 2009.
Dude, we didn't have insurance.
Yeah, I know.
How do you
cover that?
Dude, we didn't even have vision.
Yeah.
We had that like paper Davis vision card.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Nothing. Completely useless. So yeah, I know. Turns out like I just couldn't see. I know. And the A's,
you would think like, oh man, I know we could go off on this forever, but you would think these organizations would want to help their guys be the best possible, whatever it is, you know.
Only if you're in the show.
Right.
That's it. Some depends on your organization.
Right.
But for them, only if you're in the show.
Yeah.
And sometimes not even then.
It's a huge gap between the minor league guys and the big league guys.
Yeah.
And all the money's up there.
It's some organizations, there's less of a gap, you know?
Yeah.
But like there's always a gap.
Yeah. So as far as when actually, wait, I want to go back to one more story. You have a funny one about when you played against the Hartford Yard Goats and you hit a home run there. You hit a home run there. What happened when you hit that home run? Okay. It was off of Jack Winecoop.
And this is like, okay, okay, like man, just destroying this team. It was my old team. It was the Rockies. And so like a lot of the same coaching staff too. So like hit this ball, absolute bomb. He throws, I don't know if it was a curveball, changeup. He throws some pus up there. And I mean, I just destroy this thing. Dead central. This is, mind you, this is their first year of this new ballpark. This is the last game of their last home game of the season. No one's ever even gone yard dead central. The fence is like, it's all padded, a green padded wall, but dude, it's like 30 feet high. The stadium is nuts the way they built it in. Like it's nuts. There's overhangs and stuff. Dude, this ball goes over dead center and hits this guy that's petting, hits him right in the collarbone, breaks his collarbone. This dude was petting the goats. Literally, they have like a little petting zoo thing. They probably were like, hey, where should we put it? Be like, hey, put it here. No one ever hit it here. Last home game of the season, I break a guy's collarbone while he's petting a yard goat. Can't make this stuff up, dude. Can't make it up. He thought somebody threw it at him or something. Yeah.
Dude, that must have been a shot then. Damn.
Oh, it was a bomb, dude. It was a bomb. Yeah. Like I remember going up like the fans. That was a great place because like, dude, they were always a packed house. They got rowdy. And I was getting worn out. Like in right field, dude, they have like 2 levels of deck that look right over you. They're talking at your back. And so I remember going to the dugout, flexing and pointing at it. Like one of those, dude.
Oh, damn. You got him.
Yeah. You don't get that. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
You know, we're talking something that clears a batter's eye dead center, dude. You can flex on something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
that could be 430, maybe 450 if you really got it, you know?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hit him with the flex. And I didn't know that I broke a guy's collarbone.
Sure.
The only reason I found out is because my teammate was hooking up with the on-field girl, and she told him. Typically how it goes.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious? No way. That's so cool.
Speaking of flexing on them, let's talk about your gaming career all of a sudden. So how long have you been gaming on Twitch? What games do you play? And like, what's it like being, streaming and playing against people live?
Man, it's awesome. So I got started originally on Mixer, RFP Mixer.
Okay.
Doesn't exist anymore. So it was kind of like a false start, man. Like but like in streaming and content creation, there's a lot of just trial and error, learning what works, this and that. I just like to have fun with it, man. And I started primarily with Call of Duty because I've always been a big COD guy. And this is even before Warzone was out. And, the Battle Royale. And I would just stream multiplayer and just a little bit of growth, dude. Anybody can stream, it's not that big a deal especially like right when I got started. I didn't know I had to put my mic super close. I didn't know about EQ, none of that. And then, so kind of just did that on Mixer. It got shut down. Then I started figuring out where am I going to go. Ended up going to Twitch because it makes sense. And still stream COD. Didn't grow a ton. What really changed everything, dude, is when I started TikTok, to be honest. And that's how you get like the content out there. And so started growing a little bit with COD. And then once the show, MLB The Show came out on Xbox, I always got my controller with me. When MLB The Show came out, I was like, you know what, let's do it. And it started taking off and really growing exponentially. So I'm having more fun playing baseball on stream than I ever did playing for real. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Are you
like
ranked?
Fun.
I'm just curious. Are you ranked or anything like that?
Dude, I suck. I'm not that good.
Oh, really?
I've gotten better. Dude, so I hadn't played the show since high school, since PS2. I used to go to the spring training parties and they used to give out like the show on PS Vita and stuff. Like it was nuts at the W. But I wouldn't play it. I've always been an Xbox guy since like I played PS2 and then after that Xbox. So then they finally is out on this year is the first time you can play it on Xbox. And then I got back into it and started streaming it. And like, I've gotten better, but I get wrecked all the time. Like I play ranked only once a week on Saturdays. And like most of the time I'm just like, it's either I destroy somebody or I get just destroyed. And it's rare that I play somebody in the same skill gap. It's usually either way better or way worse. Kind of weird. Yeah.
Gotcha. And you had a funny one the other day that I saw where some kid tried to call you out and didn't think you knew anything about baseball. Yep. I think his name was Hayden. And you were like, guess what? I actually played.
I ain't the one. I said, Hayden, come on, bro. I ain't the one. That's all you got to say.
You put him a clip of you hitting a bomb or something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. I ain't the one. It was an argument saying that like, hey, man, okay, this is a baseball thing. And I made a comment on a video and it was like, dude, somebody made a video like, why don't more left-handed hitters bunt? And I think it was like Bryce Harper. And it's like, first off, if say like Big Papi did it, then even if he bunts for a single, the defense wins. They took the biggest bat on the team out of the lineup. That's why they don't do it. Harper can at least run. He can at least get to second. Big Papi gets to first. All he's going to do is get in the way. You got to so I was like, dude, this guy, his value is not being on first. Like if he gets to first base, it's because he mishit a homer, ripped a single, drew a walk, or not because he freaking bunted. That's not where his value is. And then this kid goes, "So play the show once and think you know about baseball." Hayden, bruh, I ain't the one. That's where that came from.
I loved it. It was awesome.
Oh, I love it.
Be like, hey, remember me here? Or just to let you know, I'm just going to slide this across the table.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like that might work for like 99% of people, but I actually, this is the one thing that I actually know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. For
you know, this is one thing that we devoted our lives to, whether we like it or not.
Sure. Do you do your own video content, like in editing and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks. Yeah,
That's
dude.
cool.
I love it. I got started in like junior high with Photoshop and then editing, like video editing, and started doing that. Like, dude, we're talking like even back in the MySpace days. Like I would edit, dude. I used to edit my my clips so I could put together a portfolio for scouts when I was in high school. And so we would just email them to the scouts. They wanted to see clips of my homer in the middle of nowhere, Belton, Texas. Here you go. Got it here in the email. So
nice.
Kind of got started on that a long time ago. So this is kind of the next evolution.
Very cool, man. Well, where can everybody follow you on social media and all that stuff, or find your gaming and all that?
FlankThomas.com.
Oh, you have a website too.
Oh, dude, FlankThomas.com. Anything and everything for all your flanking needs.
That's dude. Tell us where you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to get this hat, man? You can get flanked there too.
I might have to get one of those. Support the brand. Where'd you? And I know obviously Frank Thomas is who he is, but where did you how did that name come up for you?
Okay, so I was actually streaming under a different name, and it wasn't. This is before I'd even like fully committed, and it wasn't like it was growing really or anything. Beginning stages. I remember being extremely baked during watching the World Series on Fox and seeing the Big Hurt. And it just came to me, light bulb moment, dude. I was like, Oh my God, Flank Thomas. I went right onto my Xbox, changed my gamer tag, and I have never looked back. And did the whole logo, all that, never looked back. Just watching the World Series and he was on TV, bruh.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Do you have I don't know if you have a plan or not, but where do you see the future of your gaming abilities going?
Oh, dude, like this is it's very scalable right now. So I could see myself doing exactly what I'm doing, and obviously making tweaks here or there, but like literally I could do this until I'm 60, even more. Honestly, like it's at this point, there's so many things that are automated and it's just so much fun that, dude, I just go live and we just go, man. It's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like we got a plan. And it all just revolves around like time. And I don't really devote a ton of time to it. Really. I don't. And I'm okay with that. But if I do devote more time, then I do see a little bit more growth. But this isn't a main priority. Dad life is, number one for me, especially with the youngin'. But it's just a fun side thing to have.
Yeah, for sure. No, hey, you got to see where you can go with it. So
absolutely to the moon.
To the moon. Let's go. Well, I appreciate having you on. Great stories as always. I think we're gonna need another part with you just because you got a lot of stories. So I want to get those out. So
love it, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me, my dude.
Appreciate it. Thanks again. My thanks to Jeremy Barfield. Hope you guys enjoyed that and got some laughs. Those are some true minor league stories, man. We both went through it at similar times. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to him. And if you're into gaming, follow him on Twitch at Flank Thomas. Not Frank, but Flank, because he flanks people. So I had a lot of fun with that one. Hope you guys did too. As always, you can follow me at Too Tall Sports Podcast. That's on Instagram. On Twitter, it's at Too Tall Sports. Check me out there. I do a lot of video content now on TikTok, and I repost them on Instagram. So Too Tall Sports Podcast, that's the place to find me. You can follow and watch the interviews that I do in podcasts on YouTube. So type in Too Tall Sports Podcast. Please subscribe, like it, share it, comment, anything you can do to help boost the show. That'd be awesome. Send it to a friend or a family member, whoever likes sports and wants to listen to my content and you think they would like it, send it their way. Always looking for more subscribers, so we appreciate that. We drop episodes on YouTube every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's when they're uploaded. The audio stuff's earlier in the morning, usually 5 a.m. Apple and Spotify. So we try to get those out early in the morning on Thursday. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to email me, tootallsportspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me there. On the audio side, check out Apple Podcasts. Just type in Too Tall Sports Podcast as usual. If you haven't already, I know I love all my loyal listeners. I really appreciate you guys. But for anyone that hasn't done this, please scroll down on Apple on my Too Tall Sports Podcast page. find those 5 stars and hit the 5-star if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. We need exposure for the show, and it's a great way for us to grow and get notoriety on Apple. So we need those 5 stars, and leaving a review or comment. Love that as well. Appreciate that. Spotify, we're there too. $2 Sports Podcast, same thing. You can follow along there on Spotify. We're on Pandora, Amazon Music, Google Play, wherever you get your podcasts, we're probably there. Also, make sure to check out my new radio show. It's an audio-based kind of clubhouse style Spotify Green Room app type of thing. It's called Colorcast, one word, Colorcast. And the show is called Too Tall Sports. It's kind of like my 2 cents, but it's more of a free-flowing, open conversation forum where you guys can jump on the hot seat, as they call it, with me and ask questions and debate me and all that stuff. You can leave comments and questions in the chat, which I answered in the radio show. So it's about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on Colorcast. And just look for Too Tall Sports right before 7:30-ish. So anyway, that's my new venture, trying to get the radio game going. We'll see what that turns out to be, but just want to let you guys know, Colorcast, 7:30 p.m. Tuesday nights. Check me out, Too Tall Sports, and I'll see you soon. Thanks again for listening, and have a great day.